We're going to do a cranberry pie. I got this recipe from a girlfriend of mine, and this is a fabulous, really easy pie, which is what I like, and no crust, which I also like. Not that much of a fan of rolling out pie crust. So it's going to entail using a bag of fresh cranberries, some sugar, walnuts or whatever nuts you want to substitute. And I'm going to substitute almonds today because they're one of my favorites. And we're going to skip with the pecans because we're already going to have the traditional pecan pie. So we have a bag of fresh cranberries, easy to find in the grocery store now. And if you don't find them fresh and you find them frozen, that's fine. You can use frozen cranberries with this recipe. That's totally okay. So I've got the whole thing of cranberries in there. And I've got a half a cup of sugar. I actually put a little bit more in there than I needed. And I have my half a cup of almonds. And we're just going to kind of stir that around. These cranberries kind of pop when they're cooked, so that's really, really good. And that's all you have to do. I'll make sure that I don't have more of a pound, but I think that, yeah, those come in almost a pound, 12 ounces, but it's close enough. Now I have a buttered glass pie dish, and that kind of goes on the bottom as well. I'm going to kind of mix it a little bit again, because this all goes on the bottom. I know I have a standard pie dish here, but boy, does that look like a lot of cranberries, doesn't it? But it all bakes together anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So now, you're going to put that on the bottom, and you're going to mix the rest of the ingredients, which is going to be poured on the top, and you're going to bake it. And this is really easy too, because this is going to be 2 eggs. My farm fresh eggs from down this road about the farmers. It's going to be 2 eggs, and it is going to be a cup of flour, which I have right here. And we're going to do now a cup of sugar, which I'm going to put a little bit more in here to fill that back up to a cup. And we're going to do 3/4 of a cup of melted butter. So if you want to look on your butter stick here, a half a cup is this whole stick. And what I usually do is just kind of put it in something glass or a bowl. And so now I'm going to take another half a stick, and I'm going to put that in the microwave and melt it real quick. And I have my oven on. I have my oven on 350 for this pie. It's only going to take about a minute to melt that. And now we're going to mix this all together, pour it over the pie, and bake it at 350. And this is only going to take about half an hour, 35 to 40 minutes. And this kind of pie is great to make ahead of time because you can freeze it. And I never realized this, but you can also freeze apple pies. And my sister has been putting pies together and freezing them uncooked. She's got all her dough ready, her pies, the spice, and her apples, everything put together, freeze it, and then bake it either the day before or that morning. Probably have your turkey in the oven in the morning, so you're probably going to want to do it the night before. Alrighty now, so I'm going to take these ingredients, and you're just going to kind of mix them together, get that egg beaten with the flour and the sugar. And there's my microwave. Now, I'm going to pour my butter over that. And really mix that well so it's not real lumpy. I want to pour that right over there. Now I have a little trick up my sleeve that I thought would be interesting with the cranberry. and the almonds. And you don't have to do this, but I like chocolate. And I bet everybody else out there likes chocolate. And there's not usually anything with chocolate on Thanksgiving. You've got pumpkin and you've got apples and you've got nuts, but you don't have any chocolate. So I'm taking some of the Hershey's very dark chocolate, which is really good for you, the darker chocolate rather than the milk chocolate. And I am going to mix some into these cranberries like so. You can do a cup, you can do a half a cup, you can do whatever you want. I'm famous for changing recipes around, but I can't help it. And you know, I think some of these cranberries are going to pop right out, so I'm going to take a few out. I think they seem to be extra big. All right, we've got that chocolate all nice in there, and now I'm going to pour my mixture over this. It's kind of thick, but that's okay. And it's going to kind of sink in there, so I don't know what I'm worried about. It looks full, but it's not. This couldn't be easier. And this is like something that I make not just at holidays, because it's great, and it's great with a little dollop of whipped cream on the top. There we go. How easy that is. And that's just going to soak right in. Spread that evenly. Don't want that exactly on the edge. And I'm starting with this because I want this to be done so that you can see the final result at the end of the show. So this is going to bake for 35. It really depends on your oven, but this is on 350, I believe, and 35 to 40 minutes is what they say, but we'll see. We'll time that. I'm going to put this in the oven, and we'll be right back.